Make sure you can hear me. Good morning and welcome to Lansdale. Beautiful day. We're celebrating our heritage and our Founders Day, hence the name. So I appreciate everybody coming out this morning. I know you're all here for a very special reason, or most of you anyway. There's a lot of special things to celebrate about today. And I'll get on a thank you bit a little bit later. But first of all, I just wanted to welcome you, introduce myself. I'm Mary Fuller, President of Discover Lansdale and co-chairperson of Founders Day, along with Bill Henning, who, we'll give Bill a shout out back there. You know him also from everything Lansdale. So Mr. Lansdale, and we'll get into more of the Founders Day particulars toward the end of the program. For right now, I would like you to give a nice Lansdale welcome to our very own mayor, Mr. Mayor Gary Herbert.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you today. Can we get a round of applause for Mary and Bill and all the hard work that they put into Founders Day? So it's no small feat to put this day together, but the reason we're here today is because of the lifetime of work that has gone into this town. And it's such an honor to be able to stand here today each year recognizing what Mary often refers to as quiet voices in our community that have spent a lot of time helping build Lansdale as we see it today. Reverend Sue was one of those people. It is an honor to be here to recognize and appreciate the work that she put into our community. And just a small piece of what she has done, help create an organization that now aims to end hunger in our area. And that is no small feat, and that is an amazing piece of work here. So on behalf of everyone here in Lansdale, I just want to say thank you all for coming out. Thank you for taking the time to recognize Reverend Sue, and I look forward to seeing you all the festivities today. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I didn't move it, I swear to God. I swear to God. Yeah, you're still going to It is truly an honor today. It's always an honor for me to help recognize those who have made a lifetime commitment to bettering the Lansdale Borough and our community. Especially, we have a good lineup. There's great company that today's recipient is joining. For many years, Dr. Sue sat by my side as we made the selection for each year's recipient, and I obviously missed that. We would have honored her regardless. Certainly she is in the pantheon of Lansdale greats, and her day was always going to come. It's bittersweet that it's coming this way. We were excited to recognize her last year, which would have been our 150th birthday year. We chose that specifically for her because of the impact she made. And yes, definitely a quiet hero. And that's always the beauty about many of the folks that we celebrate. When you hear the name, it's like, oh, right, I knew that person. And you'll learn a little bit with some of the words you'll hear today about how much impact, particularly Dr. Sue, had in our community. As a former longtime board member at Manna on Main Street, I can truly attest to that piece of her greatness and what that means to this community, especially in the world we're living in now when the need is so great. So I will stop hogging the microphone, and at this point we'll get into sharing with you many of the reasons why the Dr. Reverend Sue Bertolette is this year's Lifetime Achievement Award recipient, and I will call up her very dear friend, Janet Morton, to tell us a little more.
Thank you, award is being presented to the Reverend Dr. Susan C. Bertolette. For more than 4 decades of service to Lansdale as the pastor of St. John's United Church of Christ, Reverend Dr. Sue Bertolette organized and supported many causes in the North Penn community. Reverend Bertolette began her ministry at St. John's as associate pastor in 1980 and became the senior pastor in 1999. Sue retired in June of last year, shortly before her passing on August 4th, just over a year ago, at the age of 67. She was at St. John's for 42 years at one church. She has the distinction of being the longest serving pastor in St. John's 147-year history. Reverend Sue, as she was fondly known, also known as Pastor Sue, was involved in a variety of important community activities. She served on the board of Manna on Main Street, which was founded by St. John's during her first year as associate pastor. When special needs were brought to Manna's attention, she was instrumental in finding effective solutions. In addition, Reverend Sue served on the board of the local branches of both the United Way and the American Red Cross, and claimed a leadership role in the North Penn Ministerium, an ecumenical group of local churches. In addition to her work at St. John's, Sue was a founding member of the North Penn Visiting Nurse Association Hospice and served as hospice chaplain for 19 years. Rev. Sue was also known for her monthly column to the North Penn Reporter. I'm sure many of you are familiar with that column and read it religiously every week, or every month, sorry. That began in 2004. It is with great sadness that Reverend Sue could not be with us today to personally receive this prestigious recognition. She has been and will be sorely missed. For her compassionate commitment to the church and community, we honor Reverend Bertolette for her many good works. In accepting this Lifetime Achievement Award will be her husband, my dear friend Bob.
At this time, I will call you up, Bob, and I will present the Lansdale Lifetime Achievement Award in honor of Dr. Sue. So the Borough of Lansdale Lifetime Achievement Award is presented to the Reverend Dr. Susan C. Bertolette, posthumously in 2023. Reverend Bertolette arrived at St. John's United Church of Christ as associate pastor in 1980, was selected as senior pastor in 1999, and retired in 2022, shortly before her passing. For more than 4 decades, Reverend Sue, as she was known, served the North Penn community as a pastor, an advocate, and supporter of the many causes. She served on the board of Manna on Main Street, which was founded by St. John's during her first year as associate pastor, and was instrumental in finding effective solutions for the community. She was also a founding member of the North Penn Visiting Nurse Association, Hospice, and served as hospice chaplain for 25 years. Her compassionate commitment to church and community, we honor Reverend Bertolette for her good works. Her impact on Lansdale Borough will be felt for generations, as selected by the Lifetime Achievement Award Committee.
Mary, thank you so much. Janet, thank you. You've been a dear, dear friend to us for as long as we've been in Lansdale. And I see a lot of St. John's members here. I want to say thank you for that, and other members of the community. One of the things that I also want to thank the Lifetime Achievement Committee for rewarding Sue, recognizing Sue for that. She enjoyed being on that committee. She had no influence on her name. Just want to make that clear. But this is a very emotional time. It's been a year, and a lot of feelings come up after a year. Sue was a firm believer that St. John's needed not only to serve the members of St. John's, but to give back to the greater community, making it a better place to live for everyone, especially those who experience hardships in their lives. As our mayor mentioned, Manor on Main Street and so forth, and she was involved with a lot of things, especially hospice, which she gave so much of her time to. Today brings mixed emotions as we receive this prestigious award, and it is regarded as a prestigious award. On behalf of Sue, with much sadness that she could not be here to see it herself. That's the hardest part. Years ago, I was searching, and this describes Sue to me, that also influenced me. I was looking for a scripture in her Bible because I couldn't find mine. That tells you something. Married to a minister, yes. I always say one minister in the family is what you know. But I found a bookmarker in it. And what it said was, people step into our lives, leave footprints in our hearts, and we are never the same. People step into our lives, leave footprints on our hearts, and we are never the same. To countless number of footprints on so many hearts. She's just been an incredible woman, and as Mary was defined, she was one of the quiet ones, the humble ones. She did it quietly, without any fanfare. She didn't do it for recognition for herself, but she did it for the community, for the church. She loved living in Lansdale. We've been in Lansdale for 42 years, and she came straight out of seminary to do this job. And again, was the longest running minister at St. John, I think was her goal. So, yeah, and she made it. So I would just say, on behalf of her family and the church family, we'd like to say thank you for this award to my special dear wife, who's sorely missed, as Dan said. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I will say one more thing. The plaque, I plan to have the church hang it inside so everybody can see it. Not just me every day, but for the church to see it. To remind everybody of their contribution to a great, great community. We love Lansdale. We always did. So, thank you.
Well, I think we can all agree what a special person Reverend Sue was to all of us, all of the impact she had on Lansdale, not on purpose, but because it was her calling and just who she was and what she did. I often bring up one of my very favorite books, and some of you probably have heard me say that, is The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. I talked about it when honoring the late Carl Salduti, whom I always think of on this day as well. But I think it certainly applies to Reverend Sue that, if we do meet 5 people in heaven who affect our lives, certainly Sue will be a busy lady because she'll be greeting many of us. So with that, I'll ask you guys to hang on for a couple of pictures in a minute. I want to remind everybody that this is only the beginning of today's festivities. We have a lot more of the day. You're welcome to tour the Jenkins Homestead while you're here. Pick up a packet so that you can do the Main Street Memories Tour. I'll let Pat Riker talk about that in a second. Certainly we want to remind you, and Pat will remind you again too, because it's so important. We want to tell you twice. Don't forget to stop by St. John's today. They're doing tours of the sanctuary and their stained glass windows, so that will be something to see. Down in that section of town, there's the Health and Wellness Festival, sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. To our right, if you walk up to Memorial Park, you'll have the Festival of the Arts. And back down in the center of town, 1 o'clock, all sorts of things. You can tour the police station. You can stay for some live music, family activity, a beer garden, and a whole afternoon of fun in Century Plaza. If crime is your thing, head over to the district court. Judge Ed Levine has the court open today, and he is performing arraignments, so maybe I'll break a law or two to show you some action there. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. But of course, you know, 9 o'clock tonight, you'll want to be positioned somewhere near Memorial Park so you can watch 18 glorious minutes or so of beautiful fireworks. So with that, I will invite Pat, and as she's walking forward, I will say thank you. These days don't happen without the generous commitment from our sponsors. Instead of reading them all, you can look on the back of any of these shirts to see those folks who helped us financially put this day on. And she hates it, so I'll say it at the end, but thanks to my chariot gator driver, right hand for the day, Tracy. And seriously, thank you, John, to all of Borough staff. This really is one of those it takes a village kind of days. And I think for the other 364 days of the year, many borough employees throw darts at my picture. But for today, they pretend that they like me and all this gets done. So thank you. Thanks, Pat.
I'd like to welcome you to the Lansdale Historical Society and Research Center, Jenkins Homestead, the oldest house in Lansdale. Please stick around after the program is over and take a tour of the homestead. It's newly air conditioned, so it's nice in there this year. And you may also stop in and see us at our research center too. We hope you'll consider becoming a member of our organization. We're happy to be part of this Founders Day once again, as we have from the start, and to offer you some activities to do here. Lansdale history is what we're about, and Founders Day is Lansdale history. Around this date, in 1872, Lansdale was incorporated as a borough, and we still are a borough in the state of Pennsylvania. So that's what we're celebrating today. And we're also going to be taking a walk down Main Street. You can do it either with us at 1 o'clock this afternoon, meet us at the train station, or if you can't make that, or it's a little too warm for you to be out, or it's too long a walk, we have a self-guided tour that's available to you over at under this tent at our kiosk here, and that will lead you through all the instructions yourself. You can do it on a cooler day if you want to do it that way. So with that having been said, please stay. Our restrooms are in this building if you need to use those before you leave, and we're very glad to have you here. Thanks. Bye.
With that, thanks. On to the next activity. Thank you. Enjoy your day.
Yeah.